Nigeria, with its vibrant culture and rich history, was a place where faith played a central role in the lives of its people. In the city of Abuja, where mosques and churches dotted the landscape, and in the midst of this intersection of faiths, a love story began. Yusuf Bello was a man of strong convictions. Born and raised in a devout Muslim family from Minna, north-central Nigeria. He carried his faith with pride and deep reverence. His parents, staunch Muslims, had instilled in him the values of Islam from a young age. Yusuf was disciplined, respectful, and dedicated to his faith. His life revolved around his work as an engineer and his devotion to Allah. Naomi Idu, on the other hand, was a free-spirited woman from Kogi, north-central Nigeria. Born into a Christian family, Naomi was raised with the teachings of the Bible. Her faith was a source of comfort and strength, but she also had an open mind and a love for life that sometimes took her beyond the confines of her religious upbringing. She was an artist passionate about painting and expressing the beauty of the world through her brushstrokes. The paths of Yusuf and Naomi crossed at a mutual friend's wedding in Abuja. Yusuf had come as a guest of the groom, while Naomi was there to celebrate with the bride. At the reception, they found themselves seated at the same table. Conversation flowed easily between them, and before long, they were lost in each other's company. Naomi was drawn to Yusuf's calm behavior and sense of responsibility, while Yusuf admired Naomi's creativity and zest for life. They exchanged numbers, and what started as casual text soon blossomed into daily phone calls that stretched into the night. As the weeks turned into months, Yusuf and Naomi's relationship deepened. They knew that their love was not without its challenges. Nigeria's religious landscape was often a source of tension, and interfaith marriages were met with skepticism if not outright hostility. But Yusuf and Naomi believed that their love could transcend these boundaries. Despite their different faiths, Yusuf and Naomi found common ground in their shared values of kindness, respect, and honesty. However, Yusuf was clear from the beginning that his faith was central to his life. He wanted a wife who would share in his Islamic practices, someone who would raise their children in the ways of Islam. Naomi, in the throes of love, agreed. She told Yusuf that she would convert to Islam after their marriage, and that she was willing to adapt to his religious practices. Her love for him was deep, and she believed that their relationship could overcome any obstacle. Yusuf was elated, and their families, though hesitant at first, eventually gave their blessings. Their parents agreed for them to tie the knot regardless of their religious beliefs. Something very rare in northern Nigeria. Though this interreligious marriage is common in southwestern Nigeria, the wedding was a grand affair, blending both Muslim and Christian traditions. Yusuf's family wore flowing agbada, while Naomi's family adorned themselves in vibrant Igbo attire. There were prayers, dances, and blessings from both sides. The union of Yusuf and Naomi was celebrated as a symbol of unity and love in a divided world. After the wedding, they settled into their new life together in Abuja. Yusuf was patient and kind, teaching Naomi the basics of Islam and introducing her to the practices of prayer and fasting. Naomi tried to embrace this new faith, but as the days passed, she began to feel a growing sense of discomfort. Her heart still belonged to Christianity. The teachings of Islam, though beautiful, felt foreign to her. She missed the hymns, the church services, and the comfort of her faith. She began to resent the idea that she had to change who she was for the sake of her marriage. Slowly, she started to pull back from the Islamic practices. She stopped joining Yusuf for the morning prayers, and she found excuses to avoid the mosque. Yusuf noticed the change and confronted Naomi. She confessed that she was struggling to let go of her Christian faith and that she could not continue to practice Islam. Yusuf was devastated. He felt betrayed, as if the foundation of their marriage had been built on a lie. Anger and resentment began to grow in his heart. Yusuf's father Alhaji Suleiman visited them. During his visit, he never saw Naomi observing Salat, the 5 daily prayers. "Yusuf, my son, why is your wife not praying? I hope you are not raised in a Christian home here," Alhaji Suleiman asked in disappointment. "No, Baba, she is not feeling well," Yusuf defended Naomi. Alhaji Suleiman left the house. The love that once brought them together began to erode under the weight of their religious differences. Yusuf could no longer look at Naomi the same way. He felt that she had broken her promise, that she had chosen her faith over their marriage. He began to distance himself from her, both emotionally and physically. He would leave early for work and return late, avoiding conversations and intimacy. When they did speak, it often ended in arguments about religion and broken promises. Naomi, on the other hand, was torn between her love for Yusuf and her need to remain true to herself. She felt trapped in a marriage that no longer felt like a partnership. The distance between them grew, and soon, Yusuf began to entertain the idea of taking a second wife, one who would fulfill the role that Naomi had refused to. In the Muslim tradition, polygamy was allowed, and Yusuf saw it as a solution to his unhappiness. Without consulting Naomi, he began to court a woman from his mosque, Fatima, who was devout in her faith and came from a respected Muslim family. Within a few months, Yusuf married Fatima in a quiet ceremony, and she moved into their home as his second wife. Naomi was devastated when she learned of Yusuf's second marriage. The news hit her like a thunderbolt, shattering whatever was left of her hope for their relationship. She had always known that polygamy was a possibility, but she never thought Yusuf would go through with it. The house that once felt like a home now felt like a prison, with her husband's new wife living under the same roof. Fatima's presence only deepened the divide between Yusuf and Naomi. Yusuf doted on Fatima, while barely acknowledging Naomi's existence. He began spending more and more time with Fatima, leaving Naomi to navigate her loneliness and heartbreak. The once vibrant and confident woman found herself sinking into depression. Naomi's depression did not go unnoticed. Her friends and family urged her to leave the marriage, but the thought of divorce filled her with dread. In Nigerian society, divorce was often seen as a failure, and divorced women were frequently stigmatized and shamed. Naomi feared the judgments of others, but even more than that, she feared being alone. One evening, after weeks of sleepless nights and endless tears, Naomi made a decision. She could no longer stay in a marriage that was destroying her spirit. She could no longer live in the shadow of her husband's love for another woman. She gathered her strength and confronted Yusuf, telling him that she wanted a divorce. Yusuf, though surprised, did not fight her decision. He had made his choice long ago when he married Fatima. Naomi's departure was met with indifference, a final blow to her already broken heart. The divorce was finalized quickly, and Naomi moved out of their home. She returned to her family, who welcomed her with open arms. But, outside of her family's support, the world was not so kind. Naomi was mocked by her community for her failed marriage. People whispered behind her back, calling her the woman who couldn't keep her husband. She was labeled as damaged goods, a cautionary tale for other women. Despite the pain and humiliation, Naomi refused to let the world define her. She leaned on her faith, finding solace in her prayers and church community. She threw herself back into her artwork, using her pain as fuel for her creativity. Slowly, she began to rebuild her life, piece by piece. Naomi's bravery did not go unnoticed. She became a symbol of strength and resilience, a woman who had faced the harshest of challenges and emerged stronger. She began speaking to other women who were going through similar struggles, offering them words of encouragement and hope. She advised women not to agree to change their religion for a man if they are not ready to adapt. Be it Islam or Christianity, before you marry him, make sure you use 1 to 2 months to practice his religion in closed doors so you could know if you can cope and adapt or not when you eventually get married to him. Her artwork, once a hobby, became her livelihood, and her paintings began to gain recognition in Abuja and beyond. Though the scars of her past remained, Naomi learned to live with them. She learned that her worth was not tied to a marriage or the opinions of others. She found peace in her independence and joy in her rediscovered faith. In the end, Naomi's story was one of triumph over adversity. She had faced the challenges of love, religion, and societal expectations, and emerged on the other side stronger and wiser. The threads of faith and faith had woven a tapestry of trials and tribulations, but Naomi had learned to find beauty in the imperfections. And in doing so, she had found herself. The story of Yusuf and Naomi is a reflection of the complexities of love and faith in a world where religion is very fundamental. In a nutshell, Naomi's advice to fellow women is very important for consideration before marriage. Thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to this channel, Incredible Stories, for more interesting stories.